Happy Coffee Talk Monday. This is Dr. Michelle coming at you. How are you? It's Monday again. I have a crazy week, as I'm sure you do. But fortunately for me, I had staycation last week. Now, some of you might be saying, staycation, haven't you had enough of that? Actually, I haven't really had much of a break during this whole pandemic, so it was nice to take some time off. It was interesting, but it was nice. Some things got canceled, and some other things we got to do. Originally, we were going to go away on vacation, and then we decided not a great idea for many, many reasons. So we stayed here and safely got to go back to doing certain things in life that we haven't been able to do for the last many months. And it was actually really nice. It was a bummer that I've been wanting to take paddleboard lessons and they got canceled due to air quality. Yeah, so if you don't know, on top of the pandemic and shelter in place and everything else that's going on in the world, there have been terrible fires here in Northern California. So air quality has not been great. But it was really nice to be able to do the things that we were able to do. And I think I've learned a new level of flexibility with things, which is so important. For example, the morning that our paddleboarding lessons got canceled, I was bummed because I was really looking forward to that. But then I said to my wife, okay, well, that happened. What do you want to do today? And we got to switch it up and do something else, and something that she really wanted to do. Not that she didn't want to do paddleboarding, because she did. And it was nice. It was nice just to not get too caught up in, I got this one thing I want to do and I want to do it. And if I don't get to do it, then flexibility really, I think, is a critical part of life. And I think it's hard when we get our mind set on something to be flexible. But I think one of the things this pandemic and shelter in place has taught me is that there's many things that we don't have control over. And it's not helpful to get pissed off or upset about that. What's helpful is to then figure out sort of what you do have control over, to be flexible and figure out how to pivot and move in a new direction. That used to be really, really hard for me. How about you? But I'm glad I'm learning that, because sometimes so much better things happen. Things that you never imagined. So when we didn't go paddleboarding and we decided to go down to the Flowley House, which is down in like South San Francisco, they have beautiful gardens and they have a house, of course, that belonged to a pretty famous family down there. And anyway, we went down to Flowley House, and it was great. We didn't get to see the house. We saw the gardens, which was awesome. And there were only about 3 or 4 of us there. And after that, we stopped somewhere, we had lunch, talked. I mean, things that you sort of take for granted, that you sort of think happen on a daily basis, but really don't happen on a daily basis. So it was really enjoyable. So flexibility is, I think, important at all times, but it's a really important lesson to learn during this time. Things are not always going to go our way. We're not always going to have control over things. How do you pivot? How do you move forward? You can stay stuck in your head about, oh, I don't get to go paddleboarding, darn it, really wanted to do that. Get grouchy and angry and try to figure out how to make it happen anyway. Yeah, I've done that in the past. I totally get it and I understand it, but that creates like negativity and anxiety and all sorts of negative things. And then sometimes, I don't know about you, but sometimes then my whole day has been ruined. And I don't want that. I don't want that anymore. So the staycation was really good. And this may not be the great time for any of you to take a staycation because you've probably been at home together for a while now. But once we get into a different place, I highly recommend a staycation. You know, it also really gets you to be creative and think about things, because it's not like you can just like pack up and go anymore. Things aren't open. Things are open for limited times. Not everything's open. You have to think about things at a bigger degree. And, you know, can you do it with a mask on? There's a lot to think about, but there is a lot open and there is a lot to do. And again, we were at the Flowley Gardens and there were only like 2 other people there. So it's also a perfect time to venture out and try some new things in a safe way. So interesting times. But I'm hearing from a lot of people that this really is such a great time to do things differently. And in my job, I'm all about learning how to do things differently. Just always in general. But this really is a good opportunity to think about things and how to do some things different. Who do you want to be that maybe is a little bit different? What do you want to do that may be slightly different? Yeah, well, I don't want to harp on that too much, but think about it. Anyway, staycation, flexibility, creativity, moving away from the things that are outside of your control. Wow, I talked about a lot of important concepts this morning. I threw a lot at you. Sorry about that. I think it's just because, you know, everything's popping in my head right now. I've been thinking about all of these things for myself and how to bring these things forward to you. So, as always, if you have thoughts or questions or there's anything you want to hash out or talk about, feel free to reach out. I'm here for you. I hope you, excuse me, have a great week. And I will see you next Monday for Coffee Talk. Take care and be well. Bye.